Hi guys, thank you so much for coming into this space and sharing your beautiful, wonderful, magic energy with me. Today I'm going to talk about how I transitioned from going off the pill to completely transforming my view on periods and really reconnecting to the divine, feminine, sacred energy that my cycle brings with it. So I was on the pill for around 2 to 4 years, so a very long time. I was on the mini pill, so the progesterone only pill, and I wouldn't have a single period. I made the decision within the last few months to come off the pill because the more I was connecting with my spiritual essences and my body as a whole, I was really feeling out of touch with that side of me whilst I was pumping hormones into me. I really just lost the magic of having a period and having my hormones naturally fluctuate and let my body intuitively guide me throughout my cycle, throughout life. And I just decided that I really needed to get off it. I also was going through like depressive spells, and I knew it was because of the pill. I just felt so low and like I was really out of touch with my body, and I wasn't able to fully listen to my body. Honestly, I instantly felt better. Within a week, I noticed my mood really shift, and I was like, wow, I can't believe all these years I've been pumping these hormones into my body and I didn't even know myself, and it was a really scary thought. So it took around 2 months for my cycle to regulate back to its original state. So for 2 months I didn't have a period at all. Now I'm on like a regular cycle and my body's slowly like adjusting back to its regular state. And what's really magical about the whole process is now my hormones are fluctuating, but instead of me kind of being annoyed at that and thinking, oh my god, I'm experiencing some lows still and stuff, I'm now learning about why my body fluctuates and what the different states mean, and really just embracing that. And I just wanted to make this video to talk to you about how you can fully embrace every stage of your moon cycle that you're in and really honor all of the feelings, no matter if they have positive or negative connotations. As soon as you kind of really reconnect with that, you will learn that all of those feelings are so needed and valid, and just makes you feel more in love with yourself and with your magic and how your body really does work with the flows and circles of life. So basically that was as much as I'm going to talk about the pill, and so now I'm having periods again, and before I really delve into how I reconnect with my body, I'm just going to talk you through how I've made my period more sustainable. So I use the app Clue to track my cycles. What I really like about it is it also tells me when I'm ovulating, when I'm fertile, just all of that stuff that's really nice to really understand my body and learn it at its different stages. And yeah, I find it really accurate. I really wanted it to make a mission for myself having periods this time to make them completely sustainable, as well as, you know, connecting to myself. I wanted to connect to Mother Earth and Mother Nature and Gaia, this divine feminine energy that is what made me have periods in the first place. And I felt like polluting her with plastic and non-sustainable items on such a sacred time really didn't fit well with me, and it was also making me feel negative about having a period. And I just want this time to be so magical and sacred and honor every moment of it and make sure that I'm not harming anything as I do it, because it really is a time for celebration. I have 2 products that changed the period game for me. So I have sustainable pads and moon cups, and I'm going to give a little talk about moon cups and moon cup reviews. But just to start on the sustainable pads, I mentioned these in my last small business haul video, but they are completely reusable and sustainable pads from a brand called Wear 'Em Out. I'm not going to talk too much about them, but yeah, basically you just pop them on your pants. You can just wash them and reuse them. Just wash them in the shower, hand wash, pop them in the wash. I love these so much, and I really recommend a moon cup. But there are days when you just don't want to put one in. There are days when, say, I'm having a lighter flow, or even days when I literally do not want to move or like touch anything. These are just so easy and nice and like less stress, I guess. I use a moon cup, and oh my gosh, if you want to really reconnect with your periods, 100% recommend a moon cup. Honestly, it just transformed everything for me in terms of experiencing a period. And I'm honestly like excited to get my periods now, just because I know that I've got so many amazing products. So yeah, a moon cup is basically just a reusable cup that collects the blood. It can seem scary at first. Like when I first used it, I was like, oh, this is like intense, I don't know whether I'm gonna like it. But honestly, like, just trust it and stick with it, because it gets so much easier and you really learn like how to use it. So to insert it, I squeeze it like this and then I fold it over so it looks a bit like this. Squeeze it in half and then half again, and there are loads of different like methods that you can use, but this works really well for me. And you just put it up there kind of like as high as you can go, but so it's not uncomfortable, and then as soon as you let it go, it just kind of expands inside you, and then it just collects all of the blood. I find that this collects way more blood than pads do. It's so much easier to deal with. You really don't need to empty it that much. To take it out, you're supposed to just squeeze the bottom and that will let go of the suction, and then it just comes out. But sometimes I find it's like quite high up there and I struggle to like really get my hands in there. Sounds really gross. We're literally getting rid of any stigma in this video because there's no shame or nothing gross about it, but it can seem quite like handsy and messy, which great thing to really get to know your body if you're not used to touching it that much, or you just haven't really explored it that much. This is really going to be such a good way to kind of introduce you to that, which is so important. Instead of like just really getting it in, there's a little thing on the end and it will come longer and you can trim it to whatever's comfortable. You just don't want it to really like catch you. So what I find really helps is just to kind of like tug it a bit. It sounds quite dramatic, it really isn't. Like, it doesn't hurt or anything, and just makes it so easy to literally just pinch the bottom and it will just come out like that. The reason why I love this so much, not only is it great for the environment, because this is going to last me at least 10 years they say, so I'm not going to have to use another one, and it really is less messy in terms of like no leakages or anything for me. When I'm having a really heavy day, I'll just pop one of these and like one of the lower to like medium pads on. Also on an energetic level, so spiritual level and a physical level, period blood is designed to nourish and give life itself. Ancient cultures used period blood to drink for people who were ill, as a way to revive people. They used them in animals and plants when they were in a state of decline. Women's bodies are just incredible, and you know, we're able to give life and build this life, but we're also shedding all those ingredients that make that life, which is just miracle. And also, because the womb renews itself every month, all of these energetic properties and materials are not only nourishing and healing, but also represent rebirth and renewal and just the creation of life. So a lot of people actually use this, and the reason why this is so good is because if you do want to use it in rituals, it's so easy to just decant it, but people put it on plants. So I've actually put mine, I wanted to try it once, on plants as plant food, and it's supposed to be really great nourisher. And people like to do like moon cycle paintings and just general rituals. I haven't really done any of that much, like I haven't explored that at all. Not closed-minded about it, and it's definitely something that I'd like to look into in the future. I just find it really connecting, the fact that I can give it back to the earth, like seeing it there and not going into like plastic, giving it to the water streams, just connects my energy and Mother Earth as one. And again, like everything in life, especially the yin energy, the divine feminine energy, it's all cyclical, and it just creates this cycle of rebirth, renewal, and I'm constantly connecting with the earth and the earth is constantly connecting with me. So that is basically my moon cup review, and why I love using one. I mentioned kind of like the healing properties of periods, but now I'm just going to talk to you about how I really reconnected with my body and what periods mean to me now. So I've mentioned the cyclical nature of periods, but periods really are highly esoteric. Our society today is really out of touch with nature, and we've let this masculine yang energy really overpower and become out of balance with the yin. So everything in life has this masculine and feminine energy, and I'm not talking about genders. Every single person will have masculine and feminine energy within them, and it's just the whole idea of yin and yang. Yang, or masculine energy, is the assertiveness, linear, powerful, forceful, action-based energy, and yin is more of the compassion and creator and introspective introspection, all about being led by your intuition. And our society is highly based on the yang, which makes the yin out of balance. Now, we need both energies to function, but they need to be balanced, which is why we see so much war and conflict, because the masculine energy is overpowering the feminine. We've fell out of touch with nature and our bodies because we live in a world fueled by electricity, technology, assertive dominance, hustle. And while that is great, it's just not good when you forget about the others. And I'm not going to go too much into that now, but I'm talking about that because it relates to the fact that not only have we fell out of touch with nature, we fell out of touch with our periods. So women's cycles were in sync with the moon. I also want to point out that not every woman bleeds, and not every person that bleeds is a woman. People who had periods and were healthy back in ancient times, they ovulated when the moon was full and they bled on the new moon, also synced up with other women. And the new moon and bleeding really was a time of sacred introspection. Women would retreat together and really nourish each other and rest on those times, and also just deeply respect the power of menstruation. And now society has developed in a way where we are pumping our bodies with the pill. We have no idea about our bodies and our cycles. We're not in sync with anything, and we all just are not honouring the sacred state of when we have periods, on that introspection and nourishing and tending to it. Now we're taught to, just pretend it's not happening, shove it away, put tampons in bags when you're going to the toilet, don't talk about it, have this shame and just pretend it's not happening. And for so long I was like, oh, I'm not going to let it stop me. You can't stop your life when you're on your period. And where that is absolutely true, and I do believe that it's not a time to feel like you can't do anything, I also feel like we're subconsciously being pushed away and thinking that this is a time to pretend it's not happening because it's something to be shamed about, and instead just carry on with that masculine yang energy that society wants us to behave like. Reconnecting to my body was unlearning that and really honouring those states as sacred and powerful times of transformation. I'm just going to start embracing my insular moments, and I've also learned to not shame myself for feeling like I can't do anything that day, because I actually suffer with really bad cramps and bloating, and I bleed really heavily on my period, and I felt really shamed of that, and how I was kind of like, oh my god, I've just wasted a whole day of not being able to do anything because I literally am in agony. But instead of embracing that, I'm gonna tend to that and say, wow, like this is a chance for me to completely go in to myself, feel all that I'm feeling, take baths and massage myself and just look after myself, and really allow myself to slow down and just thank my body for being able to bleed and connect with the beautiful, powerful natures of Mother Earth and the whole cyclical respect that brings. Here are some tips on how you can really hone in on reconnecting with your body. And the first thing is 100% celebrate your cycle. For so many of us, it's such an unlearning situation because we're taught that periods are dirty, unclean, things that we have to deal with by ourselves and not tell anyone about, and there's such a shame to it. Every month our body is having this experience of letting go of what no longer serves us, gives us an opportunity for renewal. Allow yourself to really fully embrace this energy and celebrate that. Another really great thing that helped me was really honouring my energy states and not being angry at myself. I always used to get annoyed at myself when I wasn't as productive and when I wasn't feeling positive all the time, but sometimes rest is the most productive thing that you can do, and we always need the darkness to bring out the light in us. Instead of shaming and hoping that these stages will pass, instead I just really sit with those feelings and allow them to come. Instead of just saying like, oh, it's just your hormones playing up, like say, yeah, my hormones are now telling me that I need to do this. And it's this whole idea of listening to your body and knowing that your body knows what's best, so really allowing that to guide you. Obviously you don't want to be overtaken by your body, and I'm not saying that you can't do anything when you're experiencing low energy, but if you're experiencing low energy, it's because your body's saying, I'm ready to go inwards now, maybe we should do some journaling and work on what is going on in your mind, or do some shadow work, or exert your energy from physical to something else. Or simply it's saying, right, now let's rest because we need to renew ourselves. Honoring these emotions also means that when I'm going through like the ovulation stage of high energy, I'm really going to work on myself, do lots of exercise, work on my creative projects, just really embrace that high energy level. And when I'm on my period, I love to do sacred, slow yin yoga, moon cycle yoga flows, just to really embrace what's going on and connect with my body further. Another really lovely way is to connect with your sisterhood. I am so grateful to have such a beautiful cohort of ladies and able to just really embody this beautiful energy. But me and my best friends have all done period yoga flows together, and we all like use moon cups and are able to have a really open conversation, and we all kind of had the same mindset of sacredness. It really does remind you that you're not the only one that's starting to clock on to the kind of robotic yang society vibes at the moment, and there is still so many sacred celestial beings out there that you can connect with. Maybe just to honor this, you know, arrange a group FaceTime, or when we can, you know, go out for a coffee date or spend some time together and just honor the beautiful energy that surrounds you. And the final thing I'm just going to quickly mention is, although it's such a beautiful time, I also have mentioned that I do suffer with pain quite a lot, especially on day 1 and day 2. So just some really simple remedies that do help. One, the mindset of knowing that it is such a beautiful time helps me in itself, because it is that kind of like mind over matter thing, and the more I'm allowing my ego to take over and kind of shaming it with my mind, my body also responds in that way. By transmuting the energy in my mind, I'm also transmuting the pain in my womb and my uterus. There are some really natural, beautiful ways that help. So I like to take lots of hot baths or have hot water bottles, but the heat just really helps. And I find when I'm so uncomfortable, I'll just get in a bath and put some like really nice Himalayan salts in and candles and just honor that, and the heat really elevates it. Peppermint teas and chamomile teas, they're definitely my go-to. If my stomach's really cramping, I'll definitely just go for one of those herbal teas, and they really help to ease the pain and just calm everything down. Just like our bodies are connected with Mother Nature, so is all of the crops and the resources, and we really can work in harmony to heal everything that we go through, and are able to just live coherently and in harmony. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're starting to change the narrative on periods and really learn to reconnecting with your body, because we all deserve to. I really appreciate you sharing your energy with me and coming into this space. Give this video a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed my content, and I can't wait to see you in my next one.